Good morning and welcome, or welcome back to the Big Bear Yarns podcast, episode number 51. I'm Anna, the dyer behind Big Bear Yarns. I live in Essex in the UK with my cat, my two dogs. This is one of them. That's Dita. My cat, my two dogs, and my sister. The cat is meandering around by my feet, so she might make an appearance. Dita's going to make an appearance because she's we're entering into allergy season, so she's very licky, so she'll have to be here. This is my podcast where I talk about everything I've been knitting and crocheting, reading and listening to. There was no podcast last week because a few reasons. It was Easter, so my sister was home and the house was very hectic and there wasn't really enough quiet to record. And the other reason is because last week was my dad's birthday and he would have been 76 years old, but he died. So he died in 2021, and I don't know, it's always hard to record around those times. Where is she off to? Hey Bub, what are you doing, baby? Let me go and get her settled again. Hold on. You guys just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Maybe a few seconds. Hey Bub. Hey. Come here. Come and lay back down, baby. Come on. I know. Good girl. Here you go. Oh, good girl. I don't think she's very happy to be back there again, but she'll have to stay for the time being. Yeah, so last week was my dad's birthday, and I just didn't feel like I didn't feel like recording. I didn't want to talk about anything at that point, so I didn't. But I'm back now. You'll probably have seen at the beginning a few photographs of my dad. It always makes me sad to talk about him, but it makes me sad not to talk about him. It's one of those things, I suppose. You'll always feel a bit sad about someone who's died. There's no getting around that. It's just, I don't know about other people, but I don't see there being a time that I'm not grieving for him. He was a massive part of my life. And he was, towards the end as well, was a massive part of me and my sister's lives where we were caring for him. He died in this house at 2:00 in the morning on October the 3rd, 2021. He died he was at home, which is what he wanted. But let's just move on. Oh yeah, so I've got some finished items. I've got, you might have noticed, crochet jumper I finished. Get my hair out of the way. It is what I wanted, which was oversized with dropped sleeves, something that was slightly roomy. It hasn't been blocked, so it's a bit wrinkly, but I thought I'd pop it on because it looks quite nice, I think, with the skirt. I think there's probably also some ends that haven't been woven in yet in this. Because I didn't turn it inside out, I only did the visible ends that were the cuffs and things. So, yeah, I'll get up and show you. So I did it cropped. Move this out of the way a minute. Yeah, so I did it cropped, so it would sit right at sort of the my tummy's sticking out. It would sit sort of like right at the top of my skirt or dress. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. It used five of the 100-gram sparkly yarns. Sparkly sequined yarn, sequins, isn't it? It's very sequined. I really like it. I did the neck a bit more like a slightly deeper V, but it's not like a really deep V, because I'm a busty lady. A slightly deeper V, because I felt that would fill the hole in my wardrobe of what I wanted. This was the third finished garment of 2026, and it used up quite a bit of stash. It used up like just over 500 grams of this. I've got quite a bit of it left. I've got about 7 left. So you may see like a cardigan of some kind come in for this. It might be for me, it might be for someone else. It might be for me, because it'd be a bit weird if I made it for my mum or my sisters, and they turned up and we were all both wearing the same like yarn. But yeah, so there might be a cardigan coming. The other finished item I've actually forgotten. It's over there. Let me go and grab them. They are the West Yorkshire Spinners Hollyberry socks. Hollyberry, that sounded odd when I said that. It sounded like it wasn't a word. But they are Hollyberry. They're done. Oh, it's really blowing out, isn't it? It's a tap. Yeah. Hollyberry, and this is Drops Fable in one of their like slightly purplish reds. I can't remember which one it is. These are knit. I do have my notes. Let me check. Are these for my mum or are they for me? I can't remember. I'll check. I will check. No, that's not it. So these are the West Yorkshire Spinners Hollyberry, and they are for me. They were knit on 2.5mm DPNs, cuff down, 64 stitches, a 2x2 twist, 2x2 rib for 20 rounds, and 50 rounds for the leg, 70 rounds for the foot. I did like a wedge toe, a slip stitch, heel flap, heel turn, and the 70 rounds for the foot are because I wear a UK size 7, and the gusset stitches and decreases count into that 70. These were socks number 11 finished for the year, and again it goes another pair of socks towards my goal of having eventually enough socks to wear one for each of the 25 days of Christmas. Will I get there? Actually, it's very possible I will, because I do knit a lot of socks. I knit like 56 pairs I think I did last year. I do have a note somewhere. I think it was in the high 50s, so it's very possible I could. I managed to sort out some of my yarn. The cubbies, where do you see from? You see from the, oh yeah, so there's actually 2 more cubbies above that you can't see from where you are. And that's not even all my yarn. There's quite a bit more upstairs, but there's more here. But a lot of it is like jumper quantities. There's a lot of sock yarn. Let's be honest. So let's see. Sock yarn. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 cubbies that are all sock yarn. And those of you who've watched before will remember me saying, "Oh, I want to get my sock yarn down to 1 cubby." I'm at 3. So maybe by the end of the year, I'll hopefully be at 1. I'll either be at 1 or I'll be at 6, if we're being honest. It'll go one way or the other. I'll use up a lot of the yarn. I won't buy more than I'm using, or I'm going to buy twice as much. I'm not bothered either way. I haven't got any lofty goals of having like no stash. I enjoy having a stash. I enjoy being able to go to my yarn and pick through it and find something that I want to work with in that moment, because I'm very much like what I'm feeling, like a vibe knitter. So it would depend on how I'm feeling in the moment. Like at the moment, even though the weather's warming up, we're heading really into spring. Look at her, she's so naughty. Dita Pie. Dita, lay down, baby. Stop that. Good girl. She's not going to. Yeah, even though the weather's warming up and we seem like we're heading into spring, like proper spring, I just want to make jumpers. Yeah, I'm just really in like a jumper cardigan kind of mood. I'm just drinking a coffee. So I should probably just go on to oh, I feel very distracted today. Very distracted, but that's okay. So my works in progress. Dita Pie, you really should stop that, sweetheart. You're going to hurt yourself. She's not going to stop. I am working, I'm up to the toe, I think. I'm at the toe of these socks I'm making for my sister. They are knit in Mermaid Lake, which is my own hand-dyed. Dita! Oh, hold on, let me go and tell her to stop because she's going to make her paw so sore. Hold on. Dita Pie, you've got to stop that. You're going to make your paws sore, okay? You have to stop. Come on, lay down. Lay down. Let's cover your paws up so you can't see them. There we go. Let's cover them up. Be good. Probably can't hear it, but she's really sighing at me. I'm a pain in her bum, I think. So these are for my sister. They are in my own hand-dyed Mermaid Lake. I'm still on sock 1. I'm making these shorter for her. I did 20 rounds. Yeah, 20 rounds for the leg, 20 rounds for the cuff, 2x2 rib. They were again on 2.5mm DPNs. See, check my notes. Oh yeah. Then we've got crunchy leaves, which I'm just at the heel. I'm at the heel. Sometimes your brain just says, like, what are words? The words are just gone. Yours probably doesn't, mine does. So this is crunchy leaves. Better. Which is really knitting up so beautifully. Sometimes, like, the camera just doesn't show. It just can't show exactly what you're seeing. It's just so beautiful. There's like these greens and so pretty. Anyway, these are for my mum. They are knit on 2.5mm. These are the Knit Pro things. They're one of my favourite. Got such an itchy nose at the moment. Itch knit doesn't make it better, it just makes it itch more. So I really have to just ignore it. This is what it looks like in the cake. So I'm getting distracted by how cute Dieter is behind me. These are for my mum. I've done 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 rounds for the leg. My mum likes a longer sock. What else to say about them? They're pretty much the same as the others. I use 2.5 on all my socks, all my 4-ply socks. 2x2 rib again. Oh yeah. Then the other one I'm on, so I got, on Friday, I got a bit impatient and I didn't want to be doing the toe. I wasn't in the mood for a toe, but I did want to get the second sock cast on because I hate casting on socks. I don't mind casting on in general. I don't mind chaining for crochet. I don't mind doing foundation stitches in crochet. I don't mind casting on for a jumper. I don't mind casting on 300 stitches, but I don't like, I hate the beginning of a sock where you're using, like I use 5 needles. I have my stitches divided around 4 needles and I use a 5th to knit onto. So I use all 5 of the needles in the double point set. And they're just so wobbly everywhere. There's no structure to them and I hate it. So I wanted to get the second sock cast on before I'd even finish the toe, and I did have a pair of exactly the same needles sitting at my side. So I've cast on sock number 2, but I haven't quite finished sock number 1. So sock number 1, I'm doing the toe. And if you're doing that, I would recommend to use the same needle, not just the same millimeter needle. The millimeter is obviously very important, but I also do knit my gauge does differ depending on the needle itself, like how the needle feels in your hand, how hard you're holding the needle, how loose, like all these things go into it. How slippery the stitches are on the needle can also make a difference. So like metal and metal isn't necessarily the same, how you knit with them. So unless you have exactly the same pair of needles, I wouldn't, for the same pair, cast on because they could be slightly different. That's just me though, maybe you don't have that problem. So I'm onto the toe, and I actually really like how these are knitting up. I love that purple with it. I love that purple, how that purple's looking with this yarn. She just wandered under the table. Dieter, baby, come here. You want to sit with me, don't you? Okay, hold on. It's gonna be one of those days. Dieter, come here. Come on, come here. Good girl. I know, come here. Let's go and put you back down. Come on, let's go and lay you back down. Come on, baby. Dieter. No, I'm here. Come here. Come on. Come on. I'm right here. Come on. Here's your monkey. Go on then. Good girl. Oh, you okay? So I've done the cuff of sock number 2, and I've almost done the toe. So I've almost finished sock number 1. I'm getting tangled, so I'm just going to leave it as it is, but I am really loving this, how it's looking. I think that is a really nice complementary, like, contrast colour. I know a lot of people like to have the same, like, find a contrast colour that matches one of the stripes in like a self-patterning or self-striping. And I always think it looks nice, but I like a complementary colour, one that's not the colour you've got, but works with them. And sometimes I get that wrong. Sometimes I think it's going to work, and it really doesn't. But that's okay. It's just a pair of socks. It doesn't even matter if it doesn't like work out, does it? It's meant to be a fun hobby. Oh, maybe it's this one. Maybe it's this one. It is, yeah. So this is, I actually remember who they were for because I didn't have a bag with me. Oh, they're for me. So these ones I cast on Friday, I think so. It's this yarn. This is a one of a kind dyed by me that was in my shop for ages and ages and ages, and I just took it. I thought I don't want to keep leaving it in my shop if it's not going to sell, and I think it's knitting up really prettily. You probably can't see that well from the small amount of knitting I've done, but I think it's looking quite pretty. This is more rustic yarn, so it is it's Regia undyed, so it does feel more like it feels like a Regia yarn if you buy their if you use their sock yarn. It feels just like that, or like a West Yorkshire Spinners. It has that kind of rustic feel to it. They're for me. They're going to be longer socks because it's a rustic yarn, and I've discovered through all the socks I've knit, I do not enjoy wearing anything remotely rustic once the weather starts getting warm. I need a superwash merino or a very soft superwash wool yarn once the weather starts getting warm. So I like to knit tall. I don't wear short winter socks. I wouldn't wear these ones as shorty socks. I don't wear shorty socks in the winter. I want a little bit of ankle warmth in the winter, even if I'm wearing just trainers. So I'm on the leg of those ones. What else do I have? Oh yeah, so that takes me to the crochet cardigan, which is the like sleeve to sleeve cardigan I've made before. I've made a few of them, so if you've watched before, you will have seen at least 2 of them on the podcast. So I'll show you my progress. This is all I've done. It's not very much. It's working out so quickly though. The last one of these I made was a 4-ply yarn on I think a 3mm hook. So that was that was a labour of love for my sister. This one is an Aran weight yarn and it's a 5mm hook. And yeah, so you make the whole sleeve basically, and then you will, when you finish the cardigan, you will just seam from the cuff all the way up the arm and then seam down the side. So that's the only seaming you do, the arm and the side. I'm recording a kind of video on like a recipe to make this, not a tutorial, but a step-by-step why you'd make certain decisions to get the outcome you want, basically. So I've done this amount, which is, I don't know, 10 inches, probably. It's actually looking like quite narrow at the cuff. Oh no, you can get your hand in there quite nicely. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I didn't want it too bulky around the sleeves because sometimes these cardigans can be a bit airy at the sleeves. I'm going to go as far as I can with this colour, and then I have got a pink So depending on how far I get with this, because all the other ones I've made have been DK or 4-ply, so I'm not sure how far I'll get with the Aran. I do have 400 grams of this almost. I probably have like 380 grams of this because I used a small amount to finish a blanket for my nephew. There's just Dita's just snuffing around my feet. Let me go and bring her bed over here because I don't think she wants to be on her own. Hold on, Bub. Hold on. Let's go and grab her bed and put it by my feet so she can sleep here. Are you going back? Okay, let me get you. Let me bring your bed over. Come on. Hey, Diti, come here. Come here. Good girl. Slightly off to the side now. There's the cat. Yeah, so I've got about 380 or so grams of the green. So depending on how far I get, it'll be a half and half. So I'll stop exactly at the halfway mark and then finish with the pink, which will mean I don't have enough to do the ribbon. So I do have this dark blue, which I can't bother to pull. It's really fallen apart in there. Let me show you the basket. So this dark blue I've got, and I do have a couple of other. I've got like a steely blue, which could look quite nice, but it is a different composition. It won't make that much difference though, because it is mostly acrylic, the other yarn. So I've got a few other Aran weights I could use. And it might be better because I do have 400 grams of this dark blue, so rather than taking out a small amount, not be able to do much with, and then not have enough to do something with it, it might be better just to find. I'll think about this later. So there's that one, and then yes, we have the shawl. Yes, so then we've got the crochet shawl I've been working on, which is coming on like this. Just gonna be a basic triangular shawl. It's a little bit curly at the, oh, this basket's going to slip off my lap. It's a little bit curly, but it'll block out nicely. I think it's so soft. I do love Cascade Heritage. It is so soft. Yeah, this will block out really nicely though. It's just half double crochets. And that's going to look really pretty. I'll pop a stitch marker in so we can see. I'll put like a progress keeper in so we can see where we are, how far I've got in the next week or so, depending on if I work on it. So let's pop this in if I can get it to work. This is a little skeletal cat. It's just a kind of macabre stitch marker I quite like. I've got loads of this yarn left though. I've got these two which are balled up, and I have more in my cubbies. I've got I think 2 or 3 more of them. So I might actually take whatever's left of this shawl and put it with what I've got left of the other and make like a garment. Because with 300 or 400 grams of 4-ply, I could make myself something. Or my mum, sort of colours my mum would quite like. Yes. Oh yeah. Sorry, my cat's just being very cute. She's laying on her little track with her ball and just knocking it back and forth. She's very cute. That was my Alexa. Yeah, I can't believe I got ink all over this. I won't worry about that right now because I'm in the middle of a row. This is how far I've got on the second panel, so I need to finish this colour, and then the next colour will be this one, and that's when I start decreasing for the other side of the front panel, like the V-neck. So, and then every other row I have fewer stitches, so I should be probably done with the other front and hopefully have seamed it by the time you guys see me next time. And I've been thinking about what to do for the sleeves and the button band. I don't think I'm going to put buttons on it, or if I do put buttons on it, they're only going to be ornamental. I'm not going to put buttonholes. I've got a bit of like wood in there. Weird. So I've got the most of, basically what I'll have the most of. I'll have this like speckled yellow and this blue speckled. These are the two I'll have the most of, which is odd because I think I did do socks with this one. I must have not done socks with it because it doesn't make any sense that I would do socks with this and have this amount left and make a pair of socks with this and of this amount. So I could not have made socks out of this colour. But if you'd asked me, I would have sworn I had. Like, I can picture these socks up in my sock basket, but it's not possible. So I don't know what's going on there. And then the other, I'm holding it double with Drops Kid Silk in the colour Chalk. This is a lace weight one. I haven't been getting the allergic reaction I thought I had been getting, so I think it was just hay fever, not an allergy to the wool, which is good because that would be quite heartbreaking to put all this effort in and not be able to wear it. Someone else would wear it quite very happily and enjoy it, but it'd be nice to get to enjoy it myself. Sorry if my microphone was bumping into me. So I think, I don't know which one looks better closer to my face for the band. Basket down might be the best thing. What do you guys think? The yellow speckled or the blue speckled for the button band? I'm thinking the blue, but that's probably just my inner goth wanting the darker colours. So one of them will be sleeves and one of them will be button bands and cuffs and that. I might put a hem, like a ribbed hem on the bottom, but I might not. I'm going to seam it together, do the sleeves, put it on and see how I feel about it, because it is an all over ribbed cardigan already, but I might want to add a little bit extra length or just have like the finishing touch of a ribbed hem. And then the only other project I've been working on is a new project, and I've done just two. I'm still in my second row. I'm knitting it on, okay, let me get the yarn out. It's Drops Lima Mix in this dark, like heathered, it's like a heathered grey. It is colour 0519. This yarn is 65% wool, 35% alpaca. I think it's a superwash, but it doesn't say. I can check online. I think it's a superwash. I'm hoping it's a superwash. I don't know now. It's a lovely yarn. It's very soft. That alpaca is really soft in it. Where's that in there? It was sitting down the front room by my chair, I think. It's one of the dogs, a bit of a dog's antler fell in there. It's more of a, I say boring because it's more of a neutral than I often go for. But I'm feeling like I like grey at the moment. I don't know what, I'm not sure why, but I'm knitting it on 4mm circulars. 4mm circulars, it's just making up as I go along pattern, as I tend to do. I'm basing it kind of off my mum's jumper that I made, but I've transferred it to being in the round rather than knit flat. So it'd be knit in the round, bottom up. And it's going to be, I think, so I'm doing a 1x1 half twisted rib for the bottom hem. And I'm going to do 1x1 broken rib, I think, for the body. It might just be stocking stitch, but it also might be 1x1 broken rib. It would depend how I'm feeling, I think, when I get to that point. Am I thick? By the time I've done like a few, I'm intending to do about 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches of ribbon. So if by the time I finished the 2 to 3 inches of rib and I'm sick of it, I'm just going to do stockinette, if that's the term you use. So we'll see how when I get there. Really, I've got loads of this yarn. I think I've got 15 of them, so I'll have more than enough to do it because I used I think 13 to do my mum's jumper, which was more stitches because at this one I'm doing 240 stitches. My mum's jumper was 280 stitches, and she wanted it longer, whereas I want mine to be slightly cropped, not cropped, but I wanted to sort of sit just like when my natural waist kind of starts going back out again at my hips. So because I think that will be perfect for the dresses I like to wear and the skirts where they sit. Yeah, so there's really not much to show about this, just 1x1 half twisted. And that is everything, I think, that I have been working on. Have a look. Yes, that is everything. So let me have a sip of my coffee. Sorry for any mouth noises. Mouth noises really bother me. Maybe the microphone didn't pick it up, hopefully. So, listening. I have been listening to a book I've listened to numerous times. I couldn't tell you how many times, countless times. There was a period in my, has it been teen years? How old is this book? I feel like late teens, early 20s. That was a long time ago now. I listened to this series of books so much. So I'm listening to The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Apart from her like werewolf books, I love Maggie Stiefvater's writing. She writes, it's not the same, but she reminds me a little bit of Anne Rice. If you've read Anne Rice, a sort of there's like a kind of richness to the writing. So I've got some of that mohair, I think, on my nose. I'm going to try and ignore it because it's not going anywhere. Yeah, there's a richness to her writing, Maggie Stiefvater, that can feel slow in places, but in like a delightful way. It feels they're very character-driven books, basically. There is plot, and there is a plot that makes sense and is linear and develops as you go along. But the plot doesn't drive the books. The characters drive the books. So they can feel slightly slower paced. But I do find it like the slower pace deliberate and intriguing and cozy. They're just there's such feeling in them, I think, is what I'm trying to get at. The Raven Boys is a young adult novel about a group of teens, like 16, 17, 18 years old, in Henrietta, which I think is in West Virginia. I don't know if it actually exists in West Virginia, but it's set. But if it's a fictional town, it's set in the real place of West Virginia. And it's like most of her books, if not all of her books. I haven't read her most recent ones yet, but all the ones that I've read are set in the real world, but there is just like a magical quality to them. So in this, the main character, Blue, has been told that she will kill her true love if she kisses him. And then on St. Mark's Eve, she is with her aunt doing her family are psychics. So on St. Mark's Eve, all the local townspeople who will die that year walk through the old churchyard and they write down the names of them, and then customers will who've requested it will be told if they or their loved one will die that year, in that calendar year. And she meets a boy, a spirit boy, but she doesn't usually see the spirits. So the fact that she's seen him, she's told, means that either he's her true love or she's killed him, she's the reason he's died. And it goes from there. It's a really good series. I think there are three or four. There are 3 or 4 books in the series. It's the Raven Cycle is the series of books. But I'm listening to that, and I'm really liking it. I listened to it again this morning while I was dyeing some yarn before I got ready. So if you like anything sort of slightly spooky, I think you'd quite like this one. And reading, I read on Kindle Unlimited, Bound to the Shadow Prince by Ruby Dixon. It's not my favourite of hers. I've read most, I think, of Ruby Dixon's books. My favourite ones, like the ones I started with, are probably her most famous ones, the Ice Planet Barbarian series. And I really like them. They're fun. It's just pure fun. And this one, to begin with, I really liked it. To begin with, it was a great sort of enemies to lovers, slow burn. But then once you got about 50% through, and all of the enemy to lovers bit had been completely put to rest, all the slow burn was not put to rest because there was not a lot of resting going on, but there was no more slow burn, there was just full burn. And it just felt like very repetitive. Like you could have cut out 30% of that final 50% and we would have had the same story. And by cut out, I mean a lot of those, I would say bedroom scenes, but they were not in a bedroom most of the time. Oh, it's my cat. I think she's getting upset because she thinks it's her lunchtime, but it's not lunchtime yet. You have to wait. So it wasn't my favourite of her books. I'd probably give it like 2 stars out of 5, just because the beginning of it was good. I'm not a prude. I like Ruby Dixon's books. My favourite ones of hers are what they called the Anchor and Aspect books. Aspect and Anchor. Those ones. We're still watching The Rookie, and we're on season 5. Showing no signs of stopping until we finish the whole series, until we finish every episode of that's been made. And we watched a film. We watched the Peaky Blinders film, The Immortal Man. I'm glad I watched it, because if I hadn't watched it, I would have wanted to watch it. So I'd be thinking, oh, I should probably watch that. It was not as good as the TV series by any percent. It was fine. It was well acted. The actors were very good in it, but it felt like a slightly clumsy way to say we won't be having like that. It felt a bit clumsy. A lot of the things that happened in it, shall we say? I don't want to give any like spoilers. It just felt heavy-handed and rushed. And maybe that's just because that's kind of how films are. Films are always a bit more rushed than a TV series, where you have, like 6 hours to tell a season. With the Peaky Blinders, I think it was about 6 episodes, wasn't it? So rather than having 6 hours to tell a story, it was told in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah, I'd probably give that one like 3 out of 5. And a lot of that would be just because the acting was very good. And the sets were like very nostalgic to the series and that. So the set design, the costuming, all of that was very good. But the actual storytelling did leave a lot to be desired. So I think that is pretty much everything. You might have noticed we've been doing a lot of sorting out. This is not the final thing. This box here, for example, this one, that will be donated soon. There's a few other things, piece of furniture we're going to be donating to charity shops, but we need to just get them all together. So I think it's looking a lot better. I can finally properly get set up, not be like angling the camera so it doesn't show a big pile of things that need to be sorted. Yeah, I think that is everything. So I will see you again next week, and I thank you very much for watching. If you got this far, which you probably didn't, and that's fine, I get it, I'm a bit of a waffler, leave a hat emoji for Peaky Blinders. If like they have it, like I don't know if they have the like flat caps that they wear, but like just a fancy hat would do, like the top hat. Leave that emoji if you got this far, and I will see you again next week.